Yeah, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to our It's Live Saturday Night edition with your host, Carlos, from the Just Fans podcast. I am joined, of course, by the great, the wonderful Tanner. How's it going, Tanner?
What's up? Hey, I love the new intro. That's sick. Loving it.
Thank you. It's kind of still the same. We just kind of tweaked it a little bit, made it look a little bit more,
Yeah.
I don't want to say professional because it's way far from professional, but it's something.
I like the improvements, man. I like the improvements.
little tweaks here and there.
That's
yeah,
right.
man. Yeah, dude. How's So first of all, it's just me today because apparently my co-hosts are not here at the moment. These what do they say? What's that song? These hoes ain't loyal. Well, here we go.
Yeah.
They are not loyal. One of them, I think, I don't know if he's sleeping, and the other one is probably dead right now. So I don't know. We'll see we'll see what's going on.
I can only guess which one's which.
Right. You take your guess. Which one is asleep? Which one's dead? Poppy or Rios? Make a guess. All right, Tanner, thank you for joining us tonight, bud. I appreciate it. We already got a shout out. We got Hardcore Sports there. What's up, bro?
Hello,
What's up, Hardcore Sports?
It must be Mitch.
Right. It's more likely Mitch. What's up, Mitch? And of course, we got Evan. I'm totally gonna butcher your last name, so I'm gonna call you Evan C. New follower from Twitter and now follow on YouTube. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Thanks for the follow. We always appreciate that. Any followers are always welcome on our show. Well, it's Saturday night, so if you're spending our night with us, I am so sorry. No, but hey, I want to give a shout out first before we start to Let's Talk Sports. Shout out to Dan. Thank you, Dan, for everything. Of course, our new partnership with Sideline Sports as well. Thank you guys for everything, Sideline Sports. And of course, our friends at the Hardcore Sports Network. Thank you so much for joining us. There's a possibility that also Mr. First Down might join us. So what exactly? Because Tanner, now correct me if I'm wrong, you guys are doing a new show starting soon. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Tell us a little bit more about it, man.
So starting June 5th. June 5th is the premiere on Let's Talk Sports exclusively. We are starting an official Let's Talk Sports show. And it's kind of running McAfee has something, kind of the vision of it. So kind of like a McAfee vision, not quite as long, of course. But our big host is going to be Mr. Bodkins of the Bodkins Show. So
Bodkins.
Bodkins.
Bodkins Show, huh?
So Nick's going to be the guy. So for this whole thing. So he'll be our main host, kind of really with the guests, and then you get the Fanatics. That the guys are going to be, still there and around asking questions and stuff like that, and having a little fun. So Mr. Johnny Cruz at Yankee Finn, he'll be one guy. Scott Cobe,
love that guy.
SJ Cobe 1 will also be another Fanatic. Then you got Mr. First Down.
Oh yeah.
Sam, that's gonna be a fun one to have him on. I'm glad I was able to get him on. And then you got myself. I'll be on the show. I'll also be running the background stuff, such as the backgrounds, the layouts, graphics. So you got myself producing it / being on there. Also working on getting guests on, and Dan Harris, of course, doing his thing, helping me out with the producing stuff, getting the guest on, lining up some stuff. So it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, definitely. We've got to give it up to Dan. I'm excited for you for the show. It's going to be great. I have full on trust. Nick Bodkins is the man. We got to give it up to him. So yeah, definitely. I'm excited for the show to come in. Of course, you got Mr. First Down, who you don't really need him. I think you guys are fine without him. I think he's going to be nothing but a burden to you guys, and he's going to bring the show down. So honestly, I think you guys are great. I'm just kidding. No, I love Mr. First Down. He's a great friend of the show.
A little fun part with that one. So when I made the trailer and stuff, I didn't realize I put an S after his Mr. First Down. So gosh. Now he's Mr. First Downs.
Because there's several. At least, you know what? You're nicer to him because every time he comes in, we have to call him this. Instead of Mr. First Down, we call him Mr. Turnover on downs. So you're a lot nicer. He's like, ha ha ha, guys. That's really funny. So
he did say it was really
nice.
nice. I let him on the Buffoon and Bodkins show we did on a few Mondays ago when Nick was out.
Yeah.
And he hopped on with me. Had no idea what hockey or MLB stuff going on really was, but he did a good job. He asked some questions that people who don't watch would be good
right.
He
brought some good insight in there. First we got to say hello to Raphael Chakin. Thank you. What's up, Raphael? What's going on, bud? How's it going, everyone? We're doing good. It's a Saturday night. We're just hanging out here. And of course, Further AM. What's good? What's good, fellas? What's up, bud? How's it going? Hope you're having a great Saturday night. All right, so let's get down to it. So one of the things that Tanner and I think this is their second appearance on our show, right, Tanner? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Correct. So Tanner is a big, as you can tell in the background, is a big Kansas City Chiefs fan. Of course, we're big Texans, Astros fans, and Rockets fans, of course, here in the Just Fans podcast. So it's always good to talk to Tanner because he gives us his insight. Last time we had him on, we talked about that I don't want to say controversial for us, not for them. Controversial Texans versus Chiefs game where Bill O'Brien just decided to give up that game by doing a sneak with Justin Reed, who coincidentally is part of the Kansas City Chiefs squad now. I just realized the more I'm talking, I'm sounding like Ned Bodkins. Like, who's coincidentally part of the Kansas City Chiefs now, guys. Sorry, I love Ned Bodkins. What was it? Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. So
that's right.
Yeah, Nick Bodkins is a man. Anyway, but yeah, so that's always one of the things that I remember from Kansas City, because I always thought that it was going to be, before all this Deshaun Watson stuff came out, back when the Texans had Deshaun Watson, I kept thinking to myself, man, we're going to see Patrick Mahomes versus Deshaun Watson, Kansas City Chiefs, Texans for a long, long time to come. And then obviously that didn't plan out much for us. I mean, it happened with you guys, which I'm, good for y'all. Because even this year, you guys are still, this season, you guys are still in the Super Bowl talks. Like, you can't say
the team to beat, really.
Yeah, the team to beat. Like, of course, you got, now I know my friends at the Hardcore Sports Network might feel a little different.
Oh, they
because
do.
A lot of them are Eagles fans. You just said the Chiefs are the team to beat, but they're probably thinking no. The Eagles this season are the team to beat. So I don't know. There's a good possibility that we see a Super Bowl repeat of last season. What do you think?
I'd be up for it. I don't see why not, really, in that NFC of the Eagles getting back, at least. You don't really have a lot of, truly you don't have a lot of competition. You don't know if the Lions are going to be able to capitalize off their success from last year. The Vikings are releasing Dalvin Cook. So now you lose a running game. Alexander Madison is not a replacement for Dalvin Cook. That offense might struggle a little bit, even though you have JJ out there. Obviously, the Packers losing out. Then you go down. Cowboys got Brandon Cooks. Great. But can they finish? They got rid of Kellen Moore, one of the play callers that's kept them in games. Honestly, throughout his Cowboys career. So he's gone. The Commanders, the football team, the new name, the Redskins, whatever you want to call them now, because they're about to get a new name. Because
they're about to get a new name because of the patent thing, right? They didn't go through.
So stupid. Wow. Come on.
Like you sold jerseys with Commander's name on it, and now you're probably going to have to change the name again because of the patent.
Well, at least they got new owners to be able to maybe solidify this thing for once.
True.
But there are question marks there. That Eric Bieniemy in the offseason for the OC/assistant coach position.
Yeah.
But is Sam Howell going to be worth it? You lost, Tyler Heineke out to the Dolphins. Carson Wentz got cut, which he was never the same. But so you don't know that division on side of that. So the Giants, can they be a top 15 offense? I doubt it. I think you're going to see some regression, but I still like that team a little bit. But I think the Eagles have it. I'm not worried about the 49ers down in the West.
No, neither am I.
If you're starting Trey Lance for at least 8 weeks, I'm not worried about you.
No,
like at all.
And even then, they have Brock Purdy is going to be out for this whole season. We'll join them next season, most likely.
Is that official?
You know what? I don't know if it's official or not. I don't think it is, but
yeah.
I knew that he was going to be out for a good while. So who knows really how long he's going to be out
I
for?
told Ted, I go, hey, you're lucky to get him back by week 10. Like
Yeah,
this injury is not just you'll be good through the offseason. No trading camp, you'll
yeah.
be fine. No, this is
I
like Tommy John.
yeah. I guess I'm thinking of like baseball terms. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah.
yeah. Like we had, our Astros had Justin Verlander out on Tommy John for a while, and now we got Jose Urquidy. Sorry, I'm not trying to mix it up, but I'm just giving
No, you're good.
examples of it. Jose Urquidy, not Jose Urquidy. I'm sorry. Luis Garcia, one of our starting pitchers, is going to be out for Tommy John as well. So it's going to be a minute before we get him. So I guess I was going in those terms, but I mean, geez, I mean, he's going to be out for a while, but maybe, like you said, maybe he's back with him by week 10 or something like that. But you never know. Everything is always they always have to take the most precautionary, steps before somebody can come back in. So who knows?
And it's going to be interesting to see what that situation develops. Like where's Trey Lance at that time when he's ready to come back? Are they winning? Is he finally doing what he's supposed to do, or is he on the bench? Is he out injured as well again? By week 5. So
do you see a scenario where like has Carson Wentz signed with any team right now, or is he a free agent?
Nope, he's free agent.
Do you think of like let's say hypothetically, if Trey Lance goes down or something like that, do you think do you see Carson Wentz going to the Niners maybe to cover up that position for a little bit?
No, because they signed Sam Darnold and they got Kyle Allen there as well.
Okay,
so I think you got 2 backups, right? You got 2 backups that can carry a little bit for an offense for a little bit.
Well, we had Kyle Allen on our last season, and the best he could do. He had like little tiny flashes. He had some tiny. Go ahead.
Look at the talent difference.
Yeah,
Debo, Ayuk.
Well,
Cooks.
Yeah. At the end of the day, though, like even with all that talent, you still probably. You can run the ball a little bit here and there, but
yeah. Kyle Allen, he showed it too. Was it Cincinnati that he came from beforehand? So, and he actually looked pretty decent in Cincinnati, kind of filling in for that too. So, like he's shown his spurts as a good backup,
right?
And Darnold has his spurts as a starter / backup. So, it's kind of a coin toss. One of those guys are going to get cut coming the offseason. Because you can keep 3 quarterbacks on the roster, and the third guy doesn't count towards roster spots. So they actually might keep all 3 until Purdy's ready to go.
Ready to go, yeah. Mr. Irrelevant over there. Yeah, man. Going back to that, everybody that you named in the NFC, really, I don't see much competition towards the Eagles. I don't care. And sorry, Alan, I know that those are your Cowboys. I think didn't he make like a prediction where I think we were on one of our shows and he said he thinks they take the division. I was like, no about that, dog.
Yeah. It was on the Bodkins one year.
That's what it was. Yeah,
I'm like, right. Alan, come on.
I was like, hey, man, it's okay to like your team, but I'm like, I don't know, man. And don't get me wrong, I love Alan. Alan's cool, but I'm like, I don't know, man.
They are in the NFC, so all they got to do is barely beat the Eagles once and have a chance to win.
Do you see that happening though?
No,
me neither. I was gonna say
I'm a little scared because you got what's his face, the head coach McCarthy running the offense essentially, and we saw what happened when McCarthy had to take control of the Green Bay offense with Aaron Rodgers. Like Dak Prescott is not an Aaron Rodgers, and then Aaron Rodgers kept them, floating a little bit through the season, but wasn't pretty. Dak, I don't care if you Brandon Cooks, CD Lamb, Michael Gallup out there. I don't care. I don't care if you go out and add DeAndre Hopkins. You can't carry an offense like that.
No. So let's shed a little bit of light on this. One of the breaking news from yesterday was DeAndre Hopkins getting released. Obviously, as a homer, I was like, bring him back. Right? Do I expect it to happen? No, I don't expect it to happen. It would be nice. It would be great. It would be some great help for CJ Stroud, who I don't care what's happening. Most likely, CJ Stroud is starting this. Like you can like, oh, Case Keenum is doing quite well. Great. Yeah. Davis Mills is saying that he's going to compete for the starting job. You had 2 years, buddy. You're not doing anything. So obviously we know CJ Stroud's going to start it unless like the Texans do the Deshaun Watson thing where they had back when they got Deshaun Watson as a rookie, they had Tom Savage start him for halftime, all the way up to halftime, and then they benched Tom Savage in the middle of the game.
Yeah,
and they let Watson go. So you might see something like that this season again, where let's just say, oh, CJ Stroud can come in like halftime or something. I don't know. That's a prediction. However, honestly, I think Hopkins would have been a great addition to the Texans. for CJ. Just another weapon because honestly, one of the weakness, and I would say one of the weaknesses that our team has at Texans right now is that wide receiver core. Yeah, we got Tank Dell.
Mhm.
Great, that's fine. We don't know how John Mechie's going to be. He's been out recovering from cancer, so and he's fully recovered from what we understand. So we don't know what he's going to look like yet because he hasn't played a game in the NFL yet. Yeah, snap at all. You got Nico Collins as a wide receiver who you could argue that he's been, Davis Mills has been his quarterback, but we haven't seen much of him yet.
He kind of came into his own a little bit late in
Right.
the season last year. So
yeah, and then he just kind of disappeared after that, though.
Yeah.
He had some flashes here and there, but you never know. So those three there are maybes. You know what I mean? We don't know until we actually start seeing them play, because if you really think about it, like I said, Tank hasn't played professionally. Neither has Mitch, even though he's been there a year. And then Nico, this is his third year now, but you know who he's had a quarterback for the last few years. So you never know. He might have an explosive year for all we know. And here we are. And then finally we got Robert Woods, who came from Tennessee. I don't really expect much from him, to be honest with you. I don't. I see him as a veteran presence, but I don't see him like, oh wow, Robert Woods going to start reaching 1,000 yards here and there, And that's
because if you add let's just say you add a D-Hop, Robert Woods is on that cut list. Come after training camp.
Exactly. So that's why, when the news came out, I was like, oh yeah, let's get him home, blah, 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 all this stuff. But realistically, it's like, it's probably not going to happen. I feel like you guys have a much better chance of getting DeAndre Hopkins.
Me too.
From what I understand, I think. But dude, stop. The rich get richer. Stop.
What do you want us to do? We got injured legs, Kadarius Toney. Yeah. We lost Hardman. We lost Juju. Yet, at times, Stonehand MVS, unproven Sky Moore, and then two guys that have been off and on the practice. Well, one guy's been off and on the practice squad, Cornell Powell from Clemson, and then Justin Ross, who people think he has some talent, he has some skill, but he was injured in the end of the year in Clemson, and then also in training camp last year. So there's a lot of unproven talent in that wide receiver core. Yes, Mahomes finished out that championship game versus the Bengals with Marset, Smith Marset from Minnesota that was on their practice squad. MVS, 3-4 tight ends, and Kemp, I think was out there or something like that. Sure, but it's not a deal where you can be consistent on offense with that kind of talent. Now, if you add a D-Hop who technically was suspended and he's been out for a period of time, technically the last 2 years, kind of fresh legs, looking for a fresh phase, fresh talent, just a new place. And you have Andy Reid on that, coaching staff there. Like, I don't see why you don't go to the Chiefs, and you're going to be competing for a Super Bowl with as long as Mahomes is out there,
Yeah, as long as Mahomes is there, you guys have, you have a Super Bowl caliber team for years to come, as long as you got Mahomes there. And I hate to say it because you're an AFC team, but nonetheless, though, I would see Hopkins going to you guys. Like, I don't see why you wouldn't, unless somehow, let's say in the AFC, I think the AFC now is becoming a more of a powerhouse.
It is
with the quarterbacks. I mean, we got Aaron Rodgers now. I don't know how you feel about that. I guess I'll ask you, how do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to stack up with the Jets this year? Do you see high hopes for them? Do you see big expectations for them, or do you just see it as the Jets are going to jet?
No, I don't think the Jets are going to jet this year. I think it helps prevent, as long as he's healthy out there, right? So that's the thing. We got to make sure he's out there. But like the weapons he has, it's going to be awesome. You're going to have a healthy running game going in the season. That's going to help because you have a quarterback that's able to move the ball down the field through the passing game and be able to keep a guy healthy. And that defense should be a little better too. So look, I think Aaron Rodgers, we've seen him 2 years, 3 years in a row. Last year, sure, it wasn't MVP level, but he was also dealing with a bunch of scrubs at wideout after losing to Bodkins.
I was gonna say he didn't have a receiving core last year. He was trying to make receivers.
Romeo Dubs, he was a fantasy candidate. Christian Watson, after being hurt in and out all year long, was still a top fantasy candidate.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers played still phenomenal for
Mhm.
what the talent he was given. Also, his defense sucked, and
Yeah.
his run game was inconsistent with Jones and Dillon. They
Mhm.
weren't. They quit basically splitting the ball up after like week 4, week 5, and that
Yeah.
killed that team.
It did.
Just due to tired, fatigue and somebody, I think Jones was hurt a little bit. So, but I think Jones with a solid depth and running game, great wideouts, got his guys too with the Lizard King there and stuff like that. And I don't see why this year would be different of him not having a great year again.
Right. Okay, I can see that. So at least, yeah. So there's that. Now there's in that division. Uh, do you see the Jets taking that division? No, I forgot the Bills are in there. I think I see the Bills, Jets, Dolphins, Patriots. What do you think?
I got the Jets,
Okay.
Dolphins, Bills, Pats.
You think the Bills will go to the third in the third
I do.
third? Ah,
I
third
think
part?
I think they dropped this year, right? So
Really?
this has
Okay.
been a powerhouse for the last few years.
Right.
Josh Allen's another year older after another season of just getting hammered because he runs the ball so much. I mean, don't get me
He
wrong,
does.
playmakers do playmaker things. He
Right.
hasn't gotten hurt or anything like that crazy, but I mean, that's still scary for a guy that's that huge. And you're gonna start seeing what Lamar's seeing right now with the
Yeah.
injuries.
Mhm.
Also, that defense lost a lot of pieces the last 2 years. We saw it last year. That wasn't the same defense that
Mhm.
we saw that tremendous defense the year before, and you guys got a couple of those pieces as well. So I don't think without that defense, like you're really pushing Allen to become what Mahomes is, kind of thing, be able to carry a team. I don't think he has that mental capacity to be able to do it. Like he's great and all, don't get me wrong. I still think he's a top 6, top 5 quarterback of the league, but I don't think he has the capacity to be able to carry a team like the Bills if they don't have a defense. I don't think he has ability to sit here and deal with high scoring games consistently week in, week out. So
I'll back you up on that one. I agree with you. I still think they're going to be second in the division though, but I see your point. Why they will go down to the third in the division. I don't see, as much as I like Josh Allen. You're right. I don't see him as a guy that can carry a whole team like Mahomes or even like Mahomes or one of those guys. I don't see him doing that
Mahomes
because
or Rodgers.
Rodgers, yeah, I don't see him. I don't see him. I don't think he's up to that level yet.
I don't either.
Could he? Possibly, but I don't think he's there yet. He can't. He's not. He just doesn't solidify me as that guy.
Yeah, and he has
But
to be. He has to get rid of he has to find ways around than just running the ball himself, right? And that's because that's going to cause him to get banged up. You saw it towards the end of the year in the playoff loss. He was banged up going in that game.
He was.
You got to be able to figure life out past being able to run the ball because you're not 23 forever. So
like no, I get it. And it's fine to run the ball. You have to run the ball, but at the same time, you have to find a balance between like, hey, protect yourself, stay in the pocket, and run when you need to. But I think if you're just completely running the ball, if that's your first thing to do, run the ball, it's not going to go well for you.
I think this is where we start seeing that Sean McDermott in his coaching capacity is being met. Like he's not able to work around that fact that Josh Allen has to learn how to pass the ball. You have to use your running backs a little bit better. James Cook's out there now. He's going to be phenomenal, I think, this year. But you got to be able to use these running backs effectively. And I think that's where you're going to start seeing McDermott and some of his staff that's still there start reaching their capacity for this team the next few years.
That's true. I can see that. Let's go down to the AFC West. Really quick. I know we're doing like a random rundown right now.
Yeah, you're fine.
But AFC West, your division. Okay. Obviously, I'm gonna say that the Chiefs are gonna get that are gonna be at the top of that division. I don't see, and then from there, who do you see as going second place in your division at least?
Has to be the Chargers. Has to be the Chargers.
Okay, I was thinking about between the Chargers and maybe the Broncos, but that's
I mean, you're able to now you got Eckler officially back and in good spirits. You kept Keenan, you kept Mike Williams. The defense is healthy again, and they added more pieces on top of that. So, and they had a good draft. So, I mean, I don't see why the Chargers wouldn't be 2 for this team, for this division.
Yeah. And then I was gonna say Denver. I was gonna say maybe a toss up between Denver and the Chargers for second, but and that's only because I was like maybe Russ has a better year now, but I don't know. Part of me tells me I think Russ's days are behind him now.
I got Raiders for sure last.
Oh yeah, same.
I think they're gonna be crap.
Raiders are gonna be.
Devontae's gonna be demanding the trade come week 5. Ready to go. Get me the heck
before
out
the
of
bye
here.
week. Yeah, before the bye week or something like that.
Yeah. I think Denver will be better than what we saw this year or this last year. You got Sean Payton in there now, and kind of a new coaching staff, kind of clear house. Things have cleaned up. The locker room's cleaned up a little bit, and you got what's his name? Not Judy, the other
Sutton.
So you got Sutton another year past his big injury, ACL injury. So I think you're gonna see some good things out of Denver this year. I don't think they're gonna go too far. But
it's gonna be like a slow, gradual.
It's gonna be a nice little step up for them from last year.
Yeah.
So making that seem like it's completely awful.
Do we think that Russell Wilson will now join his locker room and not have his own office?
Yeah, they already took it away.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah. God, why? Like you give that player that.
What was it?
Like, why do
Murray
you give them
in his video games?
Right. It's like, why do you give? I mean, don't get me wrong. I get Russ is Russ, but you don't give a player that special treatment. This just demoralizes everybody in the locker room if you think about it. Like, seriously.
Here's your couple Super Bowls. Now you're the king of the NFL, and you can have whatever you want.
Yeah. I mean, as far as I know, I've never heard of any other quarterback. Come on, Mahomes. I don't think he has his own private office or his own private.
Well, you never heard of Brady having it, right?
Right. But that's what made Brady. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, but I think Brady's great. That's what made Brady. So too, that's what made Brady great. It didn't feel like he was one of those guys that felt that he was better than everybody else. As far as that, as far as like being in your own team, like he took pay cuts. He did what was best for the team. You know what I mean? It didn't seem like he always went for like the bag. He took pay cuts here and there to try to sign guys and stuff like that. That's what I think makes him the GOAT, in my opinion.
Yeah, and he was the one that was getting, shit on essentially because he was the guy that helping them win the games. And that's just what's going to happen. It doesn't matter what you do on or off the field. If you're telling me that you're going to win a team games and go to the Super Bowl again or playoffs or whatever, it's just going to happen. It's just what the public does.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Okay, let's go down to AFC South, my division. Our division. Okay, so realistically speaking, I'm gonna put the Jags up at number 1. I don't see anybody else in our division being, going up there. So I'm gonna put the Jags first. Here's where it gets a little tricky. Now, this is me not being a homer, but I think out of the 3 teams that we have, sorry, I missed the first down. I'm gonna put my Texans up at number 2. I think our Texans can win at least 7 to 8 games. I don't think the Colts are. I don't know what's going on with the Colts right now. I know you. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Jim Irsay is saying one thing. It seems like the owners going one way, and then the Colts are going another way. Like they don't.
So, what's the point of the GM if your owner is just going to step on your throat and make your decisions for you?
Right. What's the point of that? So at this point, like I get that it's your team. I get that it's your, you own baby, it, but your baby. But you have to also take a step back and let other people run it for you. That's what they're hired for, right?
And he was doing great too. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He was a former chief in the front office, but they were winning games. And then they had a down year. They had some injuries and stuff. And now Irsay's like, oh, well, I'm going to take care of it from here. So I want to keep you on because you're allowing me to do this.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's why he essentially hired the guys so that he can allow him to run his team, which seems a little bit redundant to me because at that point you own the team. You could just fire this guy.
Are we Jerry Jones 2.0 at this moment?
Right. That's what I was gonna say. Are you doing the Jerry Jones thing? Like, what's the problem here? So I just think because of the organization that the unorganized team that is the Colts right now, that's why I am going to put them not anywhere in second place, probably like third if anything, or maybe even fourth. It's like a toss up. Tennessee, it. I don't even know if like Will Levis is they're gonna try to put Will Levis as a starter or Ryan Tannehill. Like I don't know what's gonna happen there. It should be Tannehill in all retrospect. Yeah, Malik Willis is out. I don't see him being part of anything. That was a waste of a turn of a draft pick, wasn't it? They don't expect it. They're like, no, I don't expect Malik Willis to be part of the Titans organization.
Props to the Titans though. Like seeing it, you saw the 3, 4, 5 games that he did, and it was pretty horrendous. Like props to them saying, you know what, let's just cut our loss now and not deal with it. Like we're done. Hey, cool, thanks. We did what we needed to do. Like props to them. Most teams just keep them on for the roster and waste a roster spot for the next 3 years.
Yeah, it was still a waste, but I guess the way they went about it, it's not too bad. But still,
I think it's just a wash.
Yeah, rip the Band-Aid off at this point.
So you get the Titans last.
It's a toss up between the Titans and the Colts for me. I really it's to me, and then and again, it's not to be a homer, but right now, the way that I see our team, the way that things are going with D'Amico and Bobby Slowick, who's hopefully he's running like a Kyle Shanahan type of offense or whatnot, which is very QB friendly. I think at that point that's probably the best for CJ. Again, to me right now, the biggest weakness that we have, I think, is basically the wide receiving core, like I talked about it earlier. But you never know. It just depends if anybody's actually going to step up. Who knows if Mechie's going to shine, tank? We don't know. Our running backs, of course, we got Dameon Pierce, who had a pretty solid season last year. My biggest concern was we're not getting Dameon Pierce last season. We're not getting him any help. We're going to wear this guy out. He's not going to last us 3 seasons if he keeps going this way. However, and that's because we had Burkhead backing him up because Burkhead wasn't really doing much. But now we got Singletary behind him. And I think we got Boone also. I think Mike Boone from not Mike Boone. We got Boone from Seattle. So that's something that you got a little rotation there. Give Dameon Pierce a break, so that's going to be helpful for him. And if you have a rookie quarterback, you're gonna have to try to use those running backs as much as you can. And luckily, you have a guy like Dameon Pierce. You have Singletary that can get you those yardage and give your quarterback a break here and there, where he's not going to have to try to scramble out and everything like and all that. So I think we're on a good, I think we're on a good way up again. I think we're getting better. Things are getting better in the organization after just 3 to 4 years of complete shambles.
Chaos.
Yeah, that debacle of a downfall after the Kansas City Chiefs Texans game. After that was a domino.
Mahomes broke the Texans,
Yeah, that broke the Texans for years.
Legit.
Like that's how, legit. And it is so crazy just how that is almost like a butterfly effect. Just that little moment. And I think I've told the story last time, but yeah, it derailed the team. If that's not the definition of symbolism of how one play can just damage a team for years to come, I don't know what is. And if you don't know, for those who are new to us or who are watching us for the first time, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's that play where it was an AFC divisional. No, what was it? The AFC? I can't remember now. It's been.
It wasn't the title. It was the It was the second round.
It was second round. It was the winner would go to the AFC Championship. Yeah, it was the winner would go to the AFC Championship. At the time, I can't remember who it was against the Ravens. No, I can't remember who it was. Whatever, irrelevant now. But it was the Texans Chiefs. Everybody had the Chiefs to win. But suddenly, like the Texans start doing random plays that they hadn't done all season long, and before we knew it, I think the Texans were up. Let me see,
24-0.
24-0 by I think the first quarter.
After the first quarter,
they were up 24-0. So if you think the Atlanta Patriots Super Bowl game was pretty bad, this was one of those that stays up there too. Justin Reed, the Texans go to punt. For some reason, Bill O'Brien makes a play where he puts Justin Reed, our safety at the time, who's now with the Kansas City Chiefs, and he has it, and it's a fake punt where Justin Reed goes down the middle, and he goes down right before the first down marker.
Correct.
After that, the Texans never recovered. You would think, okay, great. It's just we could afford a mistake, whatever. Nope.
They could let Mahomes back into it. That play.
That play. And here's what was crazy, and you can believe me or not on this. I was hanging out with a bunch of buddies around that time. With a few friends. We were watching at a buddy's house. Rios wasn't there, Poppy wasn't there, just friends that I knew. And I remember watching that game, and I'm thinking to myself, "Oh, I'm not gonna go to work the next day because I'm gonna get plastered." And I'm about to call, send them all that, and it was just gonna be legit. As soon as that happens, I remember saying this to myself, and I said this to the other guys. This is it. This is where we lose the game. And they're like, "Nah, you're BSing it, man. You're whatever. It's just one thing. It's gonna BS." I was like, telling you guys, this is where it is. I was called a hater. But I was like, "No, you beat it." I was like, "No, it's gonna happen." Sure enough, it happens.
There happened, right? Yeah, we were at a bar down the street called Brewbakers, all three of the buffoons and I, with some other friends. And man, we weren't sitting down. It was the pace, right? Like we're down 24-0, like, and then we did that first score, and we're like, "Hey, yeah, here we go. Let's just take it at a time. Let's get a good start." Like we're just trying to be patient. Man, yeah, I mean, even if we would have lost like 32-0, I wasn't going to work the next day anyways.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter. It was going to be plastered either way.
Yes. Either way, something was going to happen.
I mean, either crying about it or we're happy about it.
Joy.
Right?
Yeah.
But
and after that season for us, it was demoralizing, just the heartbreak of a loss. And then that off season, the Texans traded Hopkins away.
Yeah.
For nothing. And yes, we got David Johnson again for nothing.
A running
back, a washed up running back. Rios calls it for a half-eaten sandwich. I wish we'd take the other half back. Yeah. Every time if you ever ask him about that, he'll always say he'll always repeat that same line for a half-eaten sandwich. He'll always say that no matter what. So if you're ever on the show and you ask him about that, he'll always say for a half-eaten sandwich. Promise you. Take a shot every time you hear Rios say that. Anyway, yeah, you'll be hammered by halftime. Anyway, nonetheless, going back to my original spot before I deviated us out of it. I'm gonna say Jaguars in the AFC South, Texans. You know what? Because I like Mr. First Down, I'm gonna put his Titans in third, Colts last place.
Only because you like him.
Just because I like them. Other than that, I wish nothing but the worst for the Titans. That's it. Yeah. Okay, so we got the GOAT himself. The GOAT himself, Dan.
Mr. Dan.
Dan. Great show, guys. Love the collab. Yes, sir.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate you.
We have one fan, Chad Schrader, saying what's up to one person that commented. What's up, Raphael? We're having a group chat here. No, I'm kidding.
Chad. Yeah, he looks like you did a bunch of them, Mitch, and then us. So
yeah, we're good. We're good. Appreciate y'all, guys. Thank you for commenting. Appreciate it. What's up, guys? All right. What's your prediction? Sorry, for AFC South.
You're good. So Jags, I think, definitely come into play for that first spot. Now, look. Mr. First Down, whatever. I ain't worried about him, right? So on his thoughts, because I'm gonna make fun of him either way. But
as you should,
Ryan Tannehill is gonna start. You still got was it Burks, Traylon Burks out there? He's gonna be healthy going in. Derrick Henry still be Derrick Henry. The defense should be decent. I'm worried about the O-line, but I think I think they'll be all right. Look, I got the Titans at 2. I don't see why we don't put the Titans at 2. I think the Houston at 3 is definitely reasonable because I do see an improvement this year. I like their team, but I don't think they start Fields right away. So I think you're gonna have a struggle through the first 6-7 weeks until you get him in. Is that say Fields? I didn't mean.
I was like no, because for me, I wasn't trying to be rude.
I said Fields. I'm thinking Ohio State.
Yeah. Right. No, you're good. Stroud.
Yeah. So
no, for like a minute in my mind, I was like, wait.
the other Ohio State guy that was drafted at some point. So
yeah, no,
I know,
good,
right?
you're
You're all excited there for a a minute.
I was like, hold on, Fields?
Hey,
you're good. You're good. Yeah.
So I don't think Stroud's going to start right away. So I think you're going to have probably a Davis Mills in there, and I think that's just going to be the kind of the downfall from taking you to second for that team. I think you take third comfortably. I think the Colts become one of the bottom three teams this year.
I'll agree with you on the Colts. I'm gonna, and here's where I'll disagree with you, but respectfully. Your opinion is trash to me. No, no. I say no. I don't. Based on what we saw last year, being at the games, being with the fans over there. Now, of course, if you're a smart organization, you're not going to listen to your fans as far as where to coach, how to coach, and where to put your players and all that. If you're a smart organization, you're not going to listen to the fans. However, the organization is going to listen to the money. That's where they're going to go. I don't see Davis Mills starting next year, and if he does, it's going to be detrimental for the fandom.
It's going to be a really big key for the fans.
Really big key for the fans, exactly, because we started seeing it this year. The stadium was empty.
I saw a few of your screenshot. I saw a few of your pictures.
Yeah, fan appreciation. Nobody showed up. Like everybody was chanting Duval because it was against the Jags.
The Jags,
and nobody showed up because people had better things to do. One of the funniest things was the Eagles versus the Texans on the only primetime game that the Texans had this past season, which I'm okay with because we usually have a tendency to choke during primetime. It was against the Eagles, but it's during the exact same time as the Phillies Astros World Series game. I think it was game 5 or something. I can't remember what it was. Which one of those two? Nobody went. Like it was empty. It was almost empty. Yeah. I had free tickets to go to that game in a good seat. I turned him down so I could watch the Astros play the Phillies, as I should have.
As you should have.
And that's when the Texans debuted the red helmets. What they do. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Nobody cared because the Astros playing the Phillies in the World Series. Nobody's gonna, No. And then for those friends, I had a friend that did go to that. And I was like, why? He's like, because I went, I had free tickets, and then he said, but they were playing on every other screen that was at the stadium when you were getting concessions, they're playing the Astros Phillies game. Because they knew, like people know that's not gonna happen. So yeah, they had how do you call it? They knew that they were going to show up. So that's why I think they're going to, as far as now, again, as I said, if you're an organization, a smart organization, you're not going to listen to your fans, but they're going to listen to that. They're going to pay attention to who shows up. And if you start Davis Mills week 1 is just going to put a big damper on the fandom this year.
That's true.
That's the only reason why.
Mike Vrabel, right? Being in Tennessee, like this guy, what did he do? He was like winning with like 38 guys on
38 guys on the
list. Stupid. I mean, that's just stupid as a coach. Like
Mike Vrabel's amazing.
Yeah, I love Vrabel.
Yeah, Vrabel's great. We used to have him. He was our defensive coordinator at one point. Like
he played for us.
He played. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. He did. And so. Like I have nothing but utmost respect because apparently the way he treats his players too is great.
Players love him. They want to play for him. That's the best part, And I hope when Andy Reid decides, like, hey, I'm done, I want Vrabel in that spot.
That would be a good addition for y'all.
I think it'd be really great.
How now? I think I've asked you this before. How long do you see Andy Reid sticking around with you guys?
I still think another 4 or 5 years.
Think so? That long? Mm-hmm. Okay. 4 or 5 years. I mean, yeah of course. Okay. I don't see why not. I'm sure.
So a couple years ago, they asked him this question, right? And he goes, I feel recharged. Like my mind's running again in that just because you have a guy like Mahomes that you can throw up plays and create these weird situations for these defenses, and I think as long as he feels like he can be creative and have success, I feel like he'll be out there coaching.
True. And I did ask you this before, but I'll ask it again just in case. Do you feel like it's going to you're going to see some, let me rephrase this question better. Do you feel like the loss of Eric Bieniemy is going to affect you guys at all?
Oh, no. I think we upgraded with Matt Nagy.
Okay. being on there instead of
Because Nagy was here the first time around with Alex Smith, and that was one of Alex Smith's best years. Also, the pressure Mahomes helped with that best year, but the fact that you saw stuff that Nagy was able to implement going to play. Then he left for Chicago, of course, but I think having Matt Nagy back in the saddle. I mean, this is a former head coach, right now, officially a former head coach, a guy that's worked with Andy Reid the whole entire time, former quarterback, ready to go. And he was QB coach last year, and we were looking good, a little actually better than we were the previous year. So I think having a guy like Matt Nagy with even now more knowledge of the game and development, and of course still having Andy Reid right there, I think Nagy's an upgrade over Bieniemy.
Okay, all right, I see that. Yeah, no, that's what I was wondering, because I know like he tried to come over to the Texans during that time when we had Watson, and they just couldn't get through the whole interview process. Like, I don't know if he was demanding way too much or what was going on, but
nobody knows. Nobody knows why it's such a hard thing for this guy to get a job.
Yeah,
but it could also be the fact that it's like, well, you got Reid and Mahomes, right? And you're still unproven elsewhere as a coach.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
it's weird.
But that it depends on the organization too, because at one point, and I will say this because I think it's important to talk about, even though we're way past that, the Texans were trying to get Josh McCown as their head coach, and he was unproven. So, like, I don't know. It just depends on how you see it, because I'm like,
because that fell through too, right?
Yeah, like, horribly. No, but it would. Yeah. I mean, think about it. Remember when the Colts got Matt Saturday as their head coach? They made such a big deal about it. Yeah, everybody made a big deal about it. Imagine if Josh McCown, who was his, by the way, who at the time was his son's, I think, volunteer high school head coach or something like that at his son's high school. Imagine if he just makes a straight jump to NFL head coach. That would have been a huge uproar. But they were really going for it back when the Texans had Jack Easterby. Like, he was making all those ridiculous decisions. That's why, again, it goes back to my thing of, okay, we're going in the right step. Once we let him go, that was the first step towards the right direction, because that guy was just a poison that was just feeding through the team. And I'm just glad that he's gone.
It was about time,
Yeah.
Took long enough.
Definitely. Took long enough, yeah. But okay, there you go. That's ours. Let's see what else. So you saying you said the Jaguars at first, which I agree.
Titans, Texans.
Then Titans, Texans is I think where we kind of like see,
it could be flip-flopped almost. Like,
it could be flip-flopped, yeah.
I think it's gonna be close between them. I still don't feel like the Jags are gonna be 100% like first place the whole entire year. I think they're gonna pull a similar deal what they pulled last year. Is they're going to start hot, go cold in the middle of the season, and then end up hot again. So
yeah, no, definitely. Let's see. Who are we? AFC North.
Yeah, that's a good division right now.
That's a good division. I was like, we're missing one. I can't remember which one it was, but AFC North. Okay, AFC North. Ooh, that one is going to be competitive.
It is.
It's almost like, now you got the Bengals, you got the Steelers, you got the Browns. Man, where to start? Okay, so I'm gonna make my prediction. Sorry, one of our friends at the Texan Fan Bottle Podcast says the Titans are gonna be last place in our division. Okay, bold prediction.
Chubby.
Yeah, what's up, Brown Chubby Bear? Yeah. So I honestly, just because of the rivalry, I do hope the Titans are last place in the division.
So real quick before we move to this North here. So last year when we had everybody on and everything like that during our Sunday show for the football show, well, we had Mr. First Down on for the first time, and he was at the stadium, feathers, glasses, hat, everything. Right? He was
decked out. Yeah.
Right. Well, they lost. So the second time he was on, he had the feathers, the glasses, but no hat. So he was one less, right? They lost. And then we had him on again, and he had just the feathers this time.
Bro, he's going to be naked at the end of it.
And they lost. That was the last time he came on.
If he shows up shirtless to your next one, and they lose, I'd be worried about inviting him back because it's just he's losing a piece of clothing every single time.
Every single time. I was like, there's no way this guy's coming back on our show after this.
Unless you figure out how to pixelate things, I would just not let him back in the show after that. You know, if you have a edit button that pixelates stuff, by all means invite him back.
I can set different templates and just scoot the screen image up.
Whatever the smallest template you're using, that's probably the you won't need much. Don't worry, I'm just kidding.
Oh man.
I'm kidding. We love you. We love you, Mr. First Down. No, we don't. All right. Let's go back to the AFC North. All right, AFC North. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna go on a limb here. I'm gonna say the Bengals.
Okay.
Then the Ravens.
Okay.
Browns, Steelers.
Okay.
That's what I'm going with. The Browns. The reason I wanted to bring them up. So, Deshaun Watson has missed. You know, he wasn't that good last season, obviously, but because he was gone for a good while.
He should have like what, week 11?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. He was rusty. Yeah, I know Bobby G was probably looking at this like, what? No, but
yeah, right. I already hear him.
Yeah, you can hear.
Yep, there he is. Yep. Okay.
So, yeah, there he is. There's a lot of we have to bleep a lot of things out now. But I don't know. Like I know talent wise, Deshaun is one of the top quarterbacks talent wise. You could say, you know, give him Deshaun Watson now, you know, a whole offseason to recover, and then you added some weapons on him. You know, then he might, you know, he's gonna thrive again. His downfall in the Texans season, his last season was, I mean, they took away DeAndre Hopkins, and he was making do with whatever he had on that last season with the Texans. You know, so you can argue that, yeah, he's been through that before, but it just depends how much did he lose during the time he was off. Could he be great again? Or did he take a step down? We won't know until this season, in my opinion.
I want to see him play.
Yeah, I want to see. I like to see him play. I want to see.
I think what we're gonna see from Deshaun, it's gonna be like almost like riding a bicycle for him, right?
Right.
First couple weeks might be a little slower again, but he did play week 11 all the way through, week 12 or whatever, all the way through. Mm-hmm. And I think we're gonna see Deshaun come back to being Deshaun towards the end of the season.
So if that's the case, then I'm gonna go with the Browns at 2. I still think the Bengals take that division, in my opinion. However, and if we see full Deshaun, I guess I should have said that better. If we see full Deshaun, I would then change my prediction to the Bengals at first, Browns at second, Ravens third, Steelers fourth. What about you?
This is a tough division.
I know it's yeah,
and I don't feel like there's a bad team. Like when I say bad team, like a team that deserves to be under 500, right? On this division.
Right? Yeah. I guess I'm just ranking them based on how
I think. Yeah, I'm doing this finally. I'm not looking at our lads or anything like that for the depth charts. So I'm trying to just remember from what I remember here. I think Joe Burrow takes one just because Joe Burrow. You got to be Joe Burrow, right?
Yeah.
I think he's so Joe Burrow. By the way, is this Joe Burrow Mahomes rivalry is what this Deshaun Mahomes rivalry should have been.
Right.
This is what it should have been.
Oh, by the way, Deshaun Watson blocked me on Twitter.
No way.
No, on my personal one. My personal one. When I posted a thing, this is when Deshaun had already gone to the Browns. This is on my but then again, this is when he was blocking like everybody, and I don't think it was whatever. I posted.
Purge.
Yeah, the purge. Because I had posted and I brought it up because you mentioned something like this. I said that Joe Burrow. I remember I put Joe Burrow is exactly what the Texans expected Deshaun Watson to be. Blocked within 10 minutes. That was the best part. Yeah. Anyway, back to
this is what it should. I mean, honestly, it's what it should have been. Right. It should have been the Texans Chiefs for the next 5 years, 6 years at least. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Going back and forth at this. It should have been Deshaun Mahomes matchup at some point in the playoffs. Yeah. Instead, it's a Mahomes Allen and Mahomes Burrow. And I think you're gonna see more Mahomes Burrow than you're gonna see Allen going into play in the future. But Cincy, I think Cincy's there, like despite their losses that they did in the offseason, Joe Mixon's questionable of what you're even gonna get. You lost to Maje. I think you're still gonna see. I think Joe Burrow's still gonna do Joe Burrow things in that offense. So I'm keeping them one until proven otherwise, right?
Yeah.
The rest of it's interesting. That's
yes.
Like it's so. I want to go Lamar.
Right. Same, but
at the same time, can he stay healthy? But can that defense be consistent? That defense, even when Lamar was on the field, was so inconsistent. I think Lamar has the weapons. Bateman will be healthy. Yeah, Odell. I think Watkins is still there. I want to say.
How much do you really think Odell can make such a big difference for Lamar?
No, not at all. I didn't want him as on the Chiefs, and we need. We were looking for receivers.
Imagine if they got Hopkins.
I'll take Hopkins. Oh, who Ravens get Hopkins?
Yeah, imagine. I'm just saying hypothetically. Imagine if they were to gotten Hopkins, or if they were to reach out. To Hopkins. I don't think they will, but
2-1B at that point, just because that offense should be able to work, and I think Lamar would stay on the field a little longer despite being hurt. But I'm going to go Browns at 2 on my official on this one here on this prediction. I think Deshaun, I think Elijah Moore trade is what solidified it for me. Was having that guy complimentary to Amari Cooper on the other side, and Donovan Peoples-Jones to still be able to play the slot just fine. Yes, you lost Kareem Hunt, you lost some line, but you got some line still there, and they're healthy. And now you got a full off season, finally in a full off season, who can actually participate when it comes to start of the season. Deshaun Watson. I think I really do think we're going to see some better Deshaun play this year. And that defense looks pretty good. So I'm going Browns at 2, Ravens 3, Pittsburgh 4. I don't want to pick Pittsburgh 4. I really don't, because I love this Pickens connection that's going to happen. I think Najee's going to look hella better. That defense is stacked.
This defense does look good. That's why when I picked Pittsburgh at 4, I'm like,
you know what?
I hate saying it, but that's
Ravens 4th. Pittsburgh.
No way.
Pittsburgh.
You think Ravens 4th?
I think the defense blows it for the Ravens this year.
Okay.
I think John Harbaugh's coaching and the Ravens defense blows it for them. They become last place in this division.
Okay. Good point. I see your point. Because I don't if depends if the Lamar cannot stay healthy.
Yeah. You're not winning with Huntley. I don't care who you have in that wide receiver core.
You're not.
J.K. Dobbins isn't a 1 down back. It isn't a 4 down, a 3 down back.
You're right.
Okay. He's not healthy enough. Forsett isn't healthy enough. Your running back depth is still awful. Really is. Like, they're great when they're on the field, but they got to be on the field to be able to be great.
In order to perform. Yeah.
No.
Okay. I like that.
That's why I'm more concerned with the Ravens offense still, and the defense, especially the defense, more than I am any of those other teams.
Yeah. Okay. Understandable. So there you go. We just kind of did our AFC predictions here. That was pretty good. I like that. I like the little rundown. Okay, let's do a little bit of I'm gonna go in a little bit, but let's do a little bit of baseball. Your Royals. Where do you see? I have to ask you. So how do you see your Royals going? Or your record at least?
It's not gonna get any better, guys. We're sitting at 15-38. I'll give us 25 wins for the year.
Really?
It's not gonna be pretty. The A's are at 10. I think they're on pace for what, 22?
22, yeah.
It was something dumb, right? On that record breaking again. It was 25-30 wins. I think we hit 100 losses probably August, somewhere in early mid-August, honestly. Or that would be right. Early mid-August. If you continue to lose games. Look, it's just bad. It's just bad ball. They're not helping anything on spending money, getting free agents.
Yeah.
Look, I hate saying this, but we're probably going to freaking sign Jair Cosmer.
Really?
Because they probably want to bring him home and sell tickets, just like they did Wade Davis, Kelvin Herrera. What's his face for the closing the bullpen. And then they're going to bring the hometown guys back who won the World Series, right? And that's how you sell tickets. So they're going to bring Hosmer back and be like, oh, look, we got Eric Hosmer. Come see the Royals play.
Yeah.
And we want to do new downtown stadium too. So let's sabotage what we have going on at the K.
Yeah.
It's bad, dude.
No, I believe me, we've been there before. Like I used to go to the Astros games where where it was $5 a seat. You know, right now I'm just enjoying the ride, brother. Like I'm enjoying the ride because you never
I would
like
too.
you know, I'm enjoying the ride because I used to go to those Astros games back when we used to have like I saw the Astros just get manhandled in the World Series again, you know, in 05. Like I saw it. I was in high school. I was a senior. And I remember seeing that and I was like, God, that's demoralizing. You know, and we had a great team. We had the Killer Bees.
Right?
We had, you know, Beltran, Biggio, Bergman. Like you know, we had talent and then it just
We had great guys.
Yeah, Roger Clemens, we gotta say. So we had Roger, you know, and then, you know, we didn't do anything. We changed our uniform. And then in what 2012, 2013 to what you have now, and then, but you know, you had guys like, you know, Jose Altuve just coming in. You had guys like Correa coming in, and so you were getting the players that solidified what this Astros team is now, but it just took them a little while. I think we started seeing some sparks here in 2015. You know, then 2016 and then 2017 we got the championship in whatever way you want to call it. No, and so you know,
it's not cheating, dude. It really isn't.
I mean, if the thing is this, if the problem, I hate this. It's weird to say, baseball in general makes it so easy to just do that stuff. Like there's it does, and there's so many. Now, am I excusing it? No. But I'm just saying it happens more often than what we see. It happens more often than what we see. I know we got all the hate and whatever because to this day I feel like we were the scapegoats for that.
It's because you use trash cans,
right?
That's what it was. It was something more obvious,
in
the spectrum than whatever else you could be doing
Watches
in the field.
Apple Watches, video, whatever. It was garbage cans. It was like it was something that people wouldn't normally do. It was, and correct. So, you know, like to this day, like we still like I went to an A's game last year, okay, during the summer. Here's why. Number one, the tickets were dirt cheap because nobody wants to go to that stadium. And I was visiting my brother who lives in California, Northern California, so it was just easy to do both. He lives like 45 minutes away from Oakland, so I was like, let's go, you know. Here in Houston, I drive 45 minutes to get to work. So, like on a daily basis, so what's 45 minutes over there, right? And so we go there, and the first thing is this: the two fans that were there for the entire game, all they did was every time Altuve came in, they started doing the cheating thing. Bregman, same thing. Coincidentally, for some reason, when I believe it was Pena went in, they were still doing that. I was like, that makes no sense, guys. He wasn't part of that ordeal.
Yeah, right.
Like, come on, guys, come on. Like, I get that you hear it on TV and it sounds cool, but you got to know who was there.
Can we do it with the players that were there? Like, be consistent here.
Like, at least I'll give you that. Like, you just be with the players. And so it was it was awful. So I saw it firsthand for the first time being on the opposite end from a stadium that's not ours.
Yeah.
And so I see the hate, but I'm thinking to myself, geez, man, at that time, it was like, it's been 5 years. Like,
aren't we over it?
Are we still worried about this? Like
it's done, past, we're judgment's done, punishments were done, dealt.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, the biggest misconception that a lot of fans take was they didn't get punished enough. I'm like, they paid fines, they lost draft picks, like they still got punished, but they just weren't punished to your standards. Like it's still,
but it's also like, I promise you, in some way or form, all these teams are doing something related to that.
Of course, more and more has come out with players that were in other teams that said, oh yeah, we were doing whatever here, but it's not a big uproar. You know what I mean? It's
like the public was like, hey, you know, you guys got caught stealing signs, right? Because you're using stuff outside of the game,
right?
And I don't know if that's why.
Right.
Like it doesn't make
It
sense.
was,
Like that's the only
yeah,
thing that makes sense to me.
yeah. Well, and it was funny, and I'm not putting blame on anybody. It's just like it's so funny that during that time we had guys like Alex Cora,
Mhm.
in our team. Then the following year he goes off to Boston to the Red Sox, and then they got caught with like the watches, the following season. I'm like,
Yeah,
hold
yeah,
up.
that part. I'm
And
like,
then I'm like, hold up, the correlation there, and then there's Carlos Beltran who came back to the Astros during that 2017 World Series. Okay. Then now I don't think he went to Boston, but then a couple years later he went to like the Yankees or something, and suddenly things started getting way better for the Yankees. I was like, all right, guys, come on, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like it was little
right.
correlations here. Now, do they align? Maybe not, but I'm just thinking if we're doing little patterns here, I'm starting to see a little bit of a upward trend every time we get guys like Alex Cora in there or something like that. But
And then you
whatever.
put poor Dusty Baker in that situation, having to take over.
But you know what? With Dusty, yeah, you're right. Because and then one of the punishments, they fired their head coach. I mean,
Hinch,
their head coach. Excuse me,
AJ,
not their head coach, their manager. Yeah, their AJ
Hinch, yeah,
Hinch.
Hinch,
Yeah,
and he went
and
to was it Tigers?
they're the Tigers. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
with the Tigers right now. And I'm like, so the Astros had their punishment. Like they got rid of a lot of stuff, and I think the only thing they did was they just kept Altuve and Correa and Springer for the time that they did, and then Bregman.
Mm-hmm.
But now the only ones that remain are really just Bregman and Altuve. I might be forgetting. Yuli was the last one also, but Yuli's off at Yuli Gurriel's over there with the Marlins now.
Yeah,
And
yeah, he's
so
gone.
really it's just Altuve and Bregman.
I never understand. Like, I just still don't understand like why it was such a big deal. Like, it was just a advantage. Like, don't tip your pitches. Don't.
I mean, yeah.
Why are you making it obvious?
Yeah, it's like well now look, you got the Yankees with the spider with not excuse me with the sticky stuff
With
or
the
whatever.
sticky stuff, a
I'm
spider
like,
tack all over it.
I'm over here like, oh, when it's not, and don't get
Oh.
me wrong, because it's like it goes back to what I'm saying about baseball just makes it so easy and to do that, and it's drama. Like who's not gonna like drama?
Well,
You know what I mean?
I was on when I interviewed Dick Drago.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right?
I loved it.
That
That
was
was
a
a good
blast.
interview.
But like
I
he
was commenting back and forth, and
yeah. And he was like, yeah, the batters get all this pine tar, but the pitchers don't get anything. They can't do anything. And I'm like, that to me, I told him that too. I was like, this doesn't make sense. Like
it doesn't.
You have such an advanced, like even nowadays, you have such an advanced hitting aspect of these hitters. And these are, I mean, these guys, even the guys that are still sitting there in development league right now, they're good hitters and they know how to hit you. But yet you can't, as a pitcher, you're not allowed because it's not entertainment if there's not a home run going over that fence.
Thank you. Yes.
It's an MLB thing. It's a modern day MLB sucking up to the casual fan.
Exactly. And that's where it is. I'm like, dude, you make it so easy to do it, and that's the worst part. Of course, if you make it so easy, people are going to take advantage of it. That's the worst part. It's going to happen, but like I said, I feel to this day, I'll always feel that the Astros were a big scapegoat in that one, because like cheating has been around in the MLB for years. I mean, you had the steroid scandal, you had, and I'm not talking about Johnny Cruz's Yankees, but sometimes whenever I hear from Yankees like cheating Astros, I'm like, you guys
have done it all for
you
longer
guys have
than
done it.
anybody.
What are you talking about? You're the poster boy for cheating. You're like, change the baseball the baseball bat on your logo to a syringe, and we got the Yankees. You know what I mean? And like
it's like the whole Barry Bonds thing too, right?
Yeah.
That's what drives me nuts. I'm like, it's sure he might have took some stuff to get bigger, but you still got to be able to see the ball, to hit the ball, to go that far that many times, and walk that many times.
Yeah,
like it can't be that much enhancement,
right?
On the actual game aspect of things.
But for cheating, it's any advance, right? Technically, it's still
anything little advantage that you have.
Yeah. So it's something. I think what upsets me is the inconsistency of the argument of cheaters, what people consider cheaters, because they'll see it as the Astros did this, but don't see everything else that goes behind it. It's almost like almost like a horse with the blinders on. You know what I mean? Like you see one thing, You don't see the overall picture, the big picture of it.
Was it on ESPN? That's legit. All you got to ask them
Yeah.
because they're going to say, yes, that's where I saw it. Did you see this? No, it was on ESPN. That's exactly what it is. That's all it is.
Yeah. And this is, and not to get political, because I this is the last thing I hate is when, and I'm not going to name names of anything because I don't want to start up a dispute. It's when you, and this goes for both sides, when you see it on one thing that you feel comfortable with, no matter what side you're in, by the way, whenever you see it on the source that you feel more comfortable with, you start believing it and take it to heart, and that just becomes your narrative.
And that's it.
That's it. You don't see everything. You just see boom, like a horse with blinders.
We're on the same page right now. All right. This is what it is.
It's just
it's only this. Like, nothing else over here.
Tunnel vision, nothing else.
And it's legit. It's just like a pitcher, right? Like you've always been told as you grow up and you pitch through high school, middle school, tunnel vision, baby, tunnel vision. Yeah, that's what it is.
That's it. It's tunnel vision, and it's fine to have it. It's fine to have it. I just don't think you should go through life like that. You know what I mean? It's fine to have tunnel vision if it's something that you're doing, like you said, pitching or whatever. Fine. But you just can't go about your life like
you can't just say one team's cheating and not the other 29 or whatever the heck it is.
Exactly. You know. So that's just how I see it. But anyway, Tanner, I appreciate you jumping on the show, man. That was our final thought. I thought that was one of the better final thoughts we had over there. I took the thing from Jerry Springer. Our final thought, guys.
Our final thought. RP Jerry. Hey, I appreciate you having me on, being able to come on.
Oh, no problem.
Unfortunately, I saw him at Poppy, so I'll have to.
You're not missing out much. He brings the show down. He unclasses the show. He thinks he's all that, but in reality, he knows nothing about sports. He reads a script that we provide for him. There's a possibility that he's AI, according to Dan, and you and Dan
advanced AI nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. It's advanced AI. So it's okay. You're just I think you're better off if you don't meet him. He brings down the show a lot. Then there's Rios, who's probably still knocked out or dead. You take your choice.
I even got out beers so I can drink with Rios and have some fun.
I know exactly.
Instead, like you said, he's probably the one.
I would do it, but I have to keep an image. So I'm doing water.
I know you do.
Yeah, I was like, believe me, I'd be the first one. Hey, bro, let's try this out. But gotta keep an image.
It's like it's hilarious. The last few, the first few times I met Rios, he would just disappear, and then he would come back with a beer. And I'm like,
you're like. Yeah, he gets
up. Does he stand at his fireplace and put the phone there and then just walks to the fridge and comes back?
So what's funny is that he used to do it in his kitchen, right? And his kitchen is nice. He has a little round table, which is great. Like if we had the money, we would totally do a thing right there.
Yeah.
But one time I remember I clowned him because his camera was showing his pantry. And this is an ongoing joke that we have, his pantry, and it was empty. And so the whole time I'm just we're doing a show and I'm deadlocked because my ADD is horrid. And I'm locked in on his pantry. And I think Poppy, it was just when we were doing us three, and we barely had guests or whatever. And so I'm deadlocked on his pantry, but I'm still, doing the show. And so I don't know if Poppy had noticed, but if he did, then I can't remember. Anyway, so it comes to a moment where I'm like, hey, Rios, what's for dinner tonight? And he's like, it threw him off guard. He's like, what does that have to do with anything? I was like, looking at your pantry, you got nothing. So he looks and it's completely empty. Ever since then, he's done the show with a camera facing his living room. Because I called him out and jokingly once in a while we'll bring him up. Hey, show us your pantry, Rios. And he's like, no, whatever, right? And so we had on a guy once. We brought up that joke. We had a guy named George Tarlas who was for Boise State. Who played for Boise State, who's actually now with the Raiders. He got drafted. He got a free agent. He got a signing by the free agent for the Raiders, which is cool. But best of luck to him. And I remember we brought that joke, and he laughed at it too. And he's like, and then for some reason, in the middle of the show, after we said that, George starts giving him nutrition advice on the show. You should cook your own home meals, man. Like it's a game changer. Like he starts giving
that's great. Oh
it
my
was hilarious.
lord.
He's just giving him like life advice. Like we were talking about his like professional sports thing, whatever. And then he just starts giving him like life advice on how to cook your own meals and how eating out at different places is not really healthy for you. Like it was the funniest thing ever. Like you just start giving him life advice, and you see Reel's like, "Oh, thanks, man. I'll put that into consideration." Did not. He did not. He's just like,
He's
"Oh yeah,
like,
thanks, man."
And
Yeah.
he went as he went over for another beer.
As he goes over for another beer and like chips.
These
or whatever.
nutrients are the best.
I get all my nutrients from this barley and hops, and yeah, so that happened.
That's
So
good.
it was fun. It was just funny just because I knew as George was being nice and telling him, giving him some life advice, and Reels like was listening to him, I'm thinking to myself, you remind me of some of my students when I tell them something and you just do the complete opposite of it. And because the look on his face, I was like, he's not gonna do it. He's not gonna do it.
This guy's just gonna nod and say,
He's
"Yeah,
okay.
okay."
He's not and said yes, and he's gonna drink harder now because of it, because he was put to shame.
Say, man, that was a tough show today.
Yeah, tough show, guys. Yeah. Oh man, but no,
That's
man.
awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. But Tanner, the coincidentally, like all the guys that we had on our show, that were how do you call it? Draft prospects. They all made it to a team. Isn't it cool?
That's awesome, dude.
One of the guys that we had, Tyler Hudson, made it to the Rams. They're all under free
Yeah,
agency, but hey, they got
undrafted free
signed.
agency.
Undrafted free agents, but they got it. Tyler Hudson made it to the Rams. We had Derek Parrish from U of H, and he made it to the Jacksonville. He went to Jacksonville. So we had three
You'll have to
guys
ask
in
them after
did.
the whole training camp. If they stay or get cut, be like, hey.
Oh yeah, we're gonna reach out to them and see like, hey, how was it? Like, let us know about the experience. How was it? Because
that's always fun.
It's always fun to see, and then we made these connections with these guys, and it's great to have them, to talk to them and see what it was like. Give us a different perspective, and see what goes on from there. But nonetheless, that's Tanner, I wish you the best luck on y'all's show. It's going to be entertaining. Of course, we'll be tuning in to see you guys thrive, and I get
He'll be on at some point. Don't you worry.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate
Don't you worry.
It. Only me, not the other two. The other two are
great. Yeah,
unreliable.
I don't have those templates set up yet for like 3 of you guys, so it's gonna be like one at a time kind of thing.
Oh, so. Don't worry about it. All good.
Still working.
All right, Tanner. Oh no, you're good, man. Do your thing. All right, Tanner. Thank you guys. Thank you again for joining us. I appreciate it. Again, don't forget to check out, what was the date again? I'm sorry, just so that we can tell.
June 5th. June 5th. Monday, June 5th, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern on Let's Talk Sports.
There you go. All right. Thank you guys thank you, Tanner, again for joining us. Don't go just yet. And that's going to be it for our show. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see y'all later. Peace.